The British patrol has just entered the arena. They've been noticed by the defending Germans. They've immediately opened fire.
Now
the Germans are obviously in the strongest position because they've got the high ground, they've got the British security to protect them. The British Airborne troops there are all in the open. They're just in open trenches, running around, trying to find cover from the incoming clouds. On a section attack like this towards the building, they have to fire and manoeuvre, which means that some guys will lay down fire, try and keep the enemy's heads down, while another team manoeuvre forwards, and then that team will lay down fire, and in such a way they leapfrog towards their target, hopefully keeping the enemy's heads down as they go. You never fire more than a few shots from one static position, because if you do, the enemy can locate you and return fire, so the idea is fire. Unfortunately for the Germans, they're stuck in the village, so they can only wait for the enemy to arrive and kill them. But like I said, they do have harder cover to stand in. Now some elements of the British troop convoy there have got into the side of the village. Once they get there, they'll have to start fighting room to room, house to house, clearing each room as they go, because enemies can be hiding everywhere. And they could have put booby traps in. Fighting with built-up areas is one of the most dangerous things you can do, because as I said, you turn a corner, tread on a step, there might be a booby trap or a tripwire. If you poke your head on the corner, there might be an enemy there ready to shoot it off. Guys approaching up the street now, under cover of their comrades still out in the field. Every gap, every opening, every door could be a target. You've got the machine gunners up on the roof there, that's an excellent place for them. But once they're located, they themselves will come under heavy fire. Firing mortars off in the corner, hopefully trying to get some rounds lobbed into the centre of the town. Now the British guys running up and down there will be armed with Tommy guns. They might be armed with Lee-Enfields, they could be armed with stems. There was a large mixture of weapons. The Germans probably are armed with MP-34s. Schmeiser pistol, a lot of people call them Schmeisers. It's actually the wrong name. The MP-40. Sorry, got some dust in my eye that I couldn't see. Now they've actually entered the town. The guys on the roof are starting to retreat. By now, both sides will have been calling for support. It's just a racing game to see who gets there first. The orders are being given for the remaining troops to take up positions in advance. Some of the German Fallschirmjager are actually trying to escape the situation by running out to the long grass. If you can't be seen, you can't be shot at. You can see now how well the German camouflage worked in such situations. Looks quite strange when it's out on its own, but the dots, the lines, the strange splodges, they blend in very well once they get down in the grass there. Of course, the British are wearing the Denison smock, which was our first attempt at camouflaging our troops. Under that, they'll be wearing the horribly itchy serge battle dress. And even in this weather, what they're wearing is incredibly hot and sticky. Running around it doesn't help either. Now the British are entering the town. They're actually trying to sweep through to evacuate all the German resistance. As you can see, they're using the cover to their advantage. Every now and again loosing some rounds off to keep the enemy's heads down, to let them know they're still there, still engaged. Now, although you can't hear it, in the centre there will be very loud shouted orders. As each room is cleared, they will shout out "room clear" and move on to the next. If in doubt, they will throw in a grenade, and then as soon as the grenade's exploded, they'll burst through the doors, because even if it hasn't killed all the occupants, they will still be stunned by what's happened, and they won't be able to react to the troops coming in through the doorway. He's asking for the sections to move up. He's shouting his orders. Remember, no radios, no iPhones. The radios they did have didn't work very well. Everything was done with very loud Sergeant Major voices. You can see the Jeep section moving around the back now. And the paratroops are advancing through the town towards the enemy position. As I said before, by now they'll be sending out for help, but this is not the age of instant communication. It takes time. If the radios weren't working, they'd have had to send a runner. Once the runner gets to where he needs to go, he has to relay the information back to that force. They have to mobilise. All of this takes time. During this time, the troops have to hold the ground they've taken. They have to form defensive positions of their own and hope that their counter-attack doesn't come in. Yeah, they're getting all the guns set up. So they're making their own defensive positions, getting ready for any counter-attack that may be on its way. They've just manhandled that gun into position, defending the front of the town. There goes a mobile counterweight on the balance on the barrel there. The limbers on these things are incredibly heavy, so he leans on the barrel like that to add his weight to try and counterbalance it while the other guys lift and manoeuvre the gun. As you can see, just manoeuvring around this arena when they're not really in danger is hard enough. You imagine when there are bullets flying for real. As they fortify their position, other troops are keeping a wary eye out and about for any marauding troops. As you can see there, everyone being very careful, bearing in mind that the Germans who evaded the first attack are still there somewhere. Nobody knows where. It's not a time to get sloppy.
Thickest machine gun, so I can just cut the tier off.
Now, in case you're wondering what they're doing with that field gun there, they're examining their arc of fire. Obviously these guns can only fire through a set distance. So what the commander there was telling the gunner was which his arc of fire was, and he will cover that quadrant. He will not cover any other quadrant. Another gun or other people will actually cover that quadrant.
Ik ben nou een beetje gewend om te werken. Vooral het vangen. Dat je wel boven een bom aan kan moeten op de grond een bom richten en dan in de open lucht dan echt niet rond.
Looks like the German reinforcements have arrived first. As I said before, once they took the village, both sides will have been calling for reinforcements. It was a waiting game to see who arrived first. Well, obviously, the efficiency of the Germans has shown through because they have arrived on the scene. They're laying down heavy fire on the village. And now the roles are reversed. It's actually the British troops who are stuck in place, and the German troops are out in the open but able to move at speed. Themselves coming under heavy fire from the village, having been laid down in that sloppy, horrible mud. That's not a nice thing. as you can see, everyone's trying to take cover wherever they can. War did not always happen on sunny days on beautiful grass. The British are firing their mortars back. The guys up in the tower with the 303s are firing back. It's just a case now of can the British get any support into the town before they themselves are overrun. All the while the Germans are advancing, crawling through this horrible ground. This is what I said about it takes dedication to be a reenactor. Another section of German troops making their way across. Hello, he's dropped something. Don't forget your ammunition when you're running into a battle. Now the whole village is being surrounded. British troops are now in quite a bit of trouble. They've got a field gun out, but they've got armour moving in towards them. So they've got troops in front and armour behind. The rounds are falling. The flames are flying. You can feel the earth moving. Comes the German armoured column to support the ground troops trying to retake the village. A full-on attack going on against the British position. You've got armour, you've got Fallschirmjager air troops coming in, you've got more coming in on the side. The British really are deep in it now. There will be frantic calls from the village for support because the troops in there are so overwhelmed it is not going to be good for them. Machine guns don't win. The British troops now are taking heavy fire. They parachuted into a hot zone, came in on the gliders, and then they were on their own. They jumped right in behind enemy lines where the Germans were at full strength, and until they linked up with their own support, this is what they had to do. They had to hang on, hold until relieved. Mortars are still firing from the British positions. As I said at the moment, the odds are heavily weighed against the British paratroopers. are German troops pouring in from all directions. Does not look like it's going to end well for the British. The German casualties have been taken back. Those who can move forwards. British paratroopers are trying their best to hold out, completely surrounded, outgunned and hemmed in. By now, if they've got a radio operator in there, he is going absolutely frantic trying to call in support, whilst also manning his weapon, trying to fend off this massive attack. This massive counter-attack on their position. The Germans are still advancing on the position, making that bubble around the village smaller and smaller as they go, closing in, starting to completely surround and envelop that position. Oh, that one got wet. And we've got a couple of tanks backing off there. Must have come under some fire. We've got some tanks being knocked out. Obviously the field gun and the mortars are having some effect. Now there's a lull in the fight. The Germans are getting ever closer. The British probably said their prayers by now. Grenades are being thrown into the windows. By now the British will have stacked up every piece of furniture they could possibly find against those windows to try and act as some sort of cover. There's an old saying that there are no atheists in the trench. When the bullets start flying, if you don't believe in God, you still start praying. Hello, the British have surrendered. The British have actually surrendered. Probably the best thing to do under the circumstances, because there's no way they could win this battle. They took the town quite easily, but then were completely overwhelmed by the German forces coming in for the counter-attack. So now one of the German troops is moving forward to accept the surrender. A very demoralising moment for troops after putting up such a battle to have to then surrender. There were often reprisals from angry troops who'd just seen their friends killed, and even when their surrender happened they'd go up and still start shooting. So that's always a thing that you have to watch out for. But now the Germans are checking through the village, taking back what they had at the beginning of the display. Hello, we've got some fire coming in from somewhere. Hello, someone's got itchy fingers. Hello, all health broken loose. It was appalling. The British troops there are having one final effort to beat back the German counter-attack. It's having a pretty good effect. Now the command car coming round the back. British paratroopers putting up a hell of a fight. And there are reinforcements heading down the arena. From the top end of the arena you can see the reinforcements coming in. Maybe that's why they suddenly started to push back the counter-attack. As you can see there's a column coming in to support the British paratroopers. The radio message finally got through and it's being led by a cat strangler. The bagpipes are coming through. It's an awfully scary noise for those that didn't know what it was, so when you heard it coming across the battlefields, it always set the troops on edge with its eerie sound. Now we've got the half track of the Bren gun carrier coming down behind the Piper there, coming into the village. There are also tanks and reconnaissance vehicles still parked up at the top end. I'd be wanting them to move fast if I was in the village. Comet tank coming in now. Now once the Comet tank gets there, it's more than a match for any of the vehicles that the Germans are currently fielding. Could quite easily take them all out. The village now just raining bullets in every direction as the battle rages on. The Piper, still undaunted by what's going on, walking into the battle unarmed except for his horrible sounding bagpipes. It's almost like psychological warfare. Here he comes. Talk about the ultimate in bravado. Walking into a hail of bullets armed with nothing but a skirt and a bagpipe. And now the Allied armour is moving into position behind the town, itself laying down fire on the German counter-attack. So the support for the British troops is here. The guns training on their targets. All the while, the foot troops making their way in to support the British paratroopers. There we go. The humble Tommy comes to the rescue of the paratroopers, often known as the elite troops. Cherry berries. I know the T-83's been taken out. It was a bit too lightly armed really, but bless them for coming to help the soldiers. The Germans are falling back. They've got nowhere to go but the muddy streets, muddy fields of the arena. And they're taking cover behind their own armour. And now the counter-attack has been beaten back. The troops are withdrawing from the town once more. So that's twice they've lost it. Here we are now, the British support is coming into the village. The Piper still just wandering through as if nothing's happening. Oh no! There you go. That tank's been knocked out, it's on fire. The crew are trying to get up as fast as they can before they themselves comes the Achilles, the British tank destroyer. It's coming in. It's going to lend its quite mighty support to the battle. Now the tank crews there all having to pile out through the one hatch. There's another tank taken out by the Achilles. That crew there now finished with engines, might as well get out. Sometimes they try to stay in the vehicles because there's a hail of bullets coming at them, so you have a choice. You're cooked inside your tank, protected from the bullets, or you risked jumping out into those bullets to try and save your life. Not a nice choice. The tank crews are now making their way away from the other burning tank. Still putting up some quite fierce resistance. The counter-attack is still there, but it's been beaten back by the substantial firepower of the Achilles and the Comet. There's the Piper, look. Bulletproof Piper we've got there. Now the British are actually fighting and following through. What that means is when you get an attack going and you overwhelm the enemy's position, you keep going. You go right through the position, you fight and follow through. And like I said, the Tommies there, helping out the poor, stricken paratroopers who came in. Now mopping up resistance, and the Piper still wandering around like nothing's happening. With that kind of noise, he probably can't even hear the bullets. And the Germans are desperately trying to find out where the hell they can go. They are now themselves in trouble. They're even using the dirt as cover. They're trying to get as low as possible. You've never seen anything as flat as a soldier coming under fire. Right, so we've still got action coming on. The British troops are advancing, themselves taking off the counter-attack. Oh no, there goes one. And the Piper, still piping. Sorry to shoot him, please. Here we are, it's going quiet. Have the British finally beaten back the counter-attack? The Germans look like they've lost interest to me. They're taking heavy casualties. Their vehicles have been knocked out. They bit off a bit more than they could chew. Here we go, the brown jobs coming forwards. They're often called brown jobs because of the brown wool uniforms that they were wearing. Actually very hot, very uncomfortable. The tunic and trousers actually buttoned together at the back with 3 buttons to try and keep them together. But inevitably you always have this horrible gap between the top of your trousers, even though it was a very high Simon Cowell type waistband, and the bottom of your tunic. They were not very good suits at all. The Americans had the best uniforms for utility during World War II, but the Germans had the smartest. The piper, still piping. The Germans now being driven back by the sound of the piper, still piping. Forget the bullets, run away from the fearless man in a skirt. And there we go, the Germans finally absolutely legging it. He's trying to shoot them. He's shooting at the piper. The piper is bulletproof. It's unbelievable. Die, you horrible cat strangler.
Getting personal.
You see, it's universal, isn't it? That's it. Please kill him. My German's not very good, but I won't translate what he said.